way to go.
Yeah, no, so I think boxing saved me. And it pulled me out of a very, very dark place, gave me that routine, that discipline, and it brought me back to my roots. I lost myself in Los Angeles and got away from competitiveness in sports, which is like my first love. And so it really brought me back to myself, and it gave me the opportunity to step away from the cameras, which is what I think a lot of people, YouTubers and such, who are lost need to do, is step away so they can find themselves and who and what they want to be. And boxing gave me all of these things. It gave me something to fight for. It gave me purpose. And I believe a lot of people are probably in that same space.
A lot.
And the message is simple. It's like, if it worked for me, it's probably going to work for you. And so you should box. You should learn this skill. You should get back connected to your primal nature, to being an animal. We forget that that's exactly what we are, and that it feels so good to sometimes let that anger, that aggression out, that life, that anxiety into a heavy bag or whatever it might be. Because sometimes when I lift, it doesn't even do that for me. So boxing was that calling. And young kids specifically, I think cyberbullying is like terrible. People making anonymous accounts and being able to say things all the time in schools. And that's what happened to me. People in my school, these girls made a Facebook account called Jake Small. And so it was like saying I had a little dick. And so since I was a kid, like these accounts were being made of me. When I started my Vine journey, there was fake accounts in the high school talking shit about me almost every week, and the whole school would like favor it, but I never know who it was because it was anonymous. And so this cyberbullying thing like really affected me, and I can only imagine if it's 10 times worse now than it was back then. And everything's on camera. There's a record of everything. And so the message is like, pick up the boxing gloves to find that confidence, find that purpose, but also to fight back against bullying and more so specifically cyberbullying, which I think is run rampant, and to lift up others around you, and to respect others and to treat them with love. And to, if you see these things happening in your schools, to your peers, don't be the person that clicks like, that adds to it, that makes things worse, that retweets it. Be the person to say, no, this isn't right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that message is out there anywhere. I don't see anybody talking about it, quite frankly. And so that's the mission, and we're renovating gyms, getting boxing gloves into as many kids' hands as possible, doing all types of things. So
Can we talk about Amanda? How did that relationship start?
Yeah, so basically, we were throwing an event in Cleveland. I was fighting Tyron Woodley and wanted to shine a light on women's boxing, and have a co-main event that was electric, because I thought that was like something. When I came into boxing, there was a lot of problems in the sport, and I just kind of like identified the areas of where things are missing, what could be done better. It's the same thing that I did in vlogging when I first started vlogging. I watched a bunch of vlogs and I was like, what could be better? This is boring. Let's do this, and that. And one of those things was highlighting women in the sport, and met Amanda through that process, kind of rekindled our friendship. We had met like once before, but heard her story about getting paid basically like $5,000 for fights, and how she's one of the best fighters of all time. She's a 7-division world champion.
So she's at the top of getting paid.
She was already at the top.
Only getting 5.
She was like 39.
She's putting her life in danger like that?
Exactly. So she was 39-0 or 38-0, I believe, when we came into the picture. 7-division world champion. I believe the only other person to do that is Manny Pacquiao. So one of the greatest of all time. And don't quote me on that. There might be some. There might be.
No,
it
no,
might
I'm
be
quoting
a different
you.
name.
It's you can't take it back.
But I was like, excuse me, what? And so I was like, all right, we're gonna pay you. I think it was $100,000 to be a part of the card. I was like, I'm gonna set the precedent here, and I can't believe all these other fighters are getting paid around these numbers too. So I made it a point that pretty much on every card of mine, we've tried to make every single fighter their biggest payday. And pay them the most amount of money that they'd ever been paid. But me and Amanda also hit it off as friends as well as her trainer. They're just really good people. And I started speaking up, like, how could fighters get paid like this? There's no, they're getting taken advantage of, specifically women. They're not getting the same opportunities. There's not any massive women's fights going on. And people were like, yeah, he's right. And everyone like supported me when I was speaking out against these things. And I was like, oh, wow, no one's said anything about this for years. I'm going to run with this torch.
Yeah.
Because I believe I can make change here. And not only make change, but be the change. Like, pay Amanda $100,000. Like,
That changes your life, bro.
Yeah.
and
One fight is more than all of the fights she's ever done in her life.
Yeah, and so, boom, domino effect, a bunch of things started to happen, and we were able to make the biggest women's fight ever in history, her versus Katie Taylor. They both got $1 million, biggest payday for women ever.
That's incredible.
And now we're just continuing to knock down barriers. She's fighting 12 3-minute rounds, which normally women's fights are 10 2-minute rounds. So it's about equality and getting paid more. And now she's the highest paid women's boxer in the sport by far. And it's just crazy.